I still can't believe how shit Real Madrid were against Rayo Vallecano. The fact that you dropped points in a 3-3 shootout when you had the chance to go top of La Liga with a game in hand is nasty work. We absolutely bottled it against Vallecano. And that defensive performance that we saw from our back line was shocking. That was some of the worst defending that I've seen all season. That was haram defending. That defending that we put out there was committing crimes against this sport. We had man like Johnny Sins, Mr. Clean, cooking us. I couldn't believe what I saw from the boys. Now, as you guys know, this is not a match reaction. If you guys want to see me lose my mind and rant and go crazy, you got to check out the match reaction that I dropped after the game. What we're going to do in this video is talk about 5 things that we learned during this Vallecano game. And I need you guys to get in the comment section and let me know some things that you learned, right? Maybe I didn't touch on something that you thought of during this match. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications. Let's get it. I feel like I've said this every game since he's been dropped, but Raul Asensio needs to start for Real Madrid when he is fit. And that is the first thing that I've learned from this game. How we defended against Vallecano was disgraceful. That was arguably the worst defensive performance that we've had all season. I cannot believe how shit we were. Every time the ball was in the air, how lost the defense looked. I truly believe that if Raul Asensio was out there, we don't concede 3 goals. And let's just be very honest here. Asensio has been our best defender this season. Since Militao has gone down and since Raul Asensio got a chance, he cooked. And I'm just trying to figure out, what has he done to get dropped? It makes no sense. This is why Carlo Ancelotti pisses me off. And we're going to talk about the manager a little later in the video. But the way that he handles the youth, the young players who are looking to get an opportunity, it really grinds my gears. Why is Tchouaméni starting at center back if Asensio is fit? I knew that this terrorist of a manager was going to drop Asensio the minute that Tchouaméni came back from injury. And I just do not get it. Tchouaméni is a DM. Put him back in the midfield and play Raul Asensio at center back. Play him at the position that we've seen him cook at. Since he's came into the team, he's been a spark for us. And after Militao got injured, I told you guys that Raul Asensio might have saved our season. Because if he didn't perform as well as he did, we would have had to play Jesus Vallejo. And the thing is, I don't even believe that Tchouaméni was that bad against Vallecano. He wasn't good. Nobody was good in that back line. But he wasn't shit. The point is, right, we know that Tchouaméni can play at center back and put in good performances. We've seen it happen last season. We've seen it at times this season. But that was only when we had no other options. This season, next to Rudiger, we have an option, and that is Raul Asensio. Name me a game that he's played bad in. Why has Carlo dropped him? You see how shaky we look at the back without this guy out there. Every game that he hasn't played so far since he started, we've looked bad. The defending was horrendous. Like, I still cannot believe how we let Vallecano score some of those goals. The lack of marking, the lack of aggression, letting them get free headers. Chat, do you honestly believe we concede 3 goals if Raul Asensio is out there? Carlo, you got to put this kid back in the starting 11. It's not rocket science, right? You have to find a way to play him. But this manager only wants to go with the players that he fully trusts. You have to take risks sometimes. And I thought Once Raul Asensio passed the Liverpool test, because even though Liverpool cooked us, Asensio was our best defender in that game. He was the only defender that I could say did not play bad. So if he can play at a high level versus arguably the best team in the world, you're telling me that he can't start against Vallecano? He can't start against Atalanta? He can't start against Girona? Carlo's going to kill this kid's confidence. He must go back into that starting 11. The back line is so disorganized. And we didn't look like this when he was next to Rudiger. So, again, the first thing that I learned and took away from this game is Raul Asensio must start for Real Madrid. Unless we're going to go out there in January and spend big on a defender, he needs to be starting for the rest of this season. If he's fit, he needs to be out there. There's no reason, again, for him to be dropped. And like I said, when I first started off with this point, since he's been dropped, after every single game on the 5 things that we learned video, I'm here talking about Raul Asensio. That's how much of an impact I felt like he made when he was given a chance. He's solid defensively. He's good on the ball, right? His passing from the back line is amazing. He's also very good with his ball progression. Again, tell me why he's not starting. Maybe somebody that is watching this video doesn't agree, right? Maybe you do think Tchouaméni is the best option at center back. I don't. You saw how that midfield was getting ran through. No physicality in that midfield today against Vallecano. If Camavinga or Tchouaméni is in that midfield, right? Maybe Tchouaméni because he started. I think that we look a lot better in the middle of the field. But no, you're playing the DM at center back, and we look discombobulated. Put Raul Asensio back in that starting 11, man. Stop playing. The second thing that I learned from this match is that our fullbacks are massive liabilities. Lucas Vazquez and Fran Garcia are not good enough to be starting for Real Madrid on a consistent basis. Now, obviously, these guys are not the first choice. We do have an injury crisis going on at the club this season. Dani Carvajal is done for the season. He got injured against Villarreal. And then Ferland Mendy is dealing with an injury now as well. But these 2 players, the fact that they are starting for Real Madrid is just insane to me. They were at fault for 2 of those goals. Let's talk about Lucas Vazquez, because I believe he is the weakest link in our starting 11. He's shit. And the thing is, it's not his fault that he's shit because he's being played out of position. Lucas Vazquez is not a right back. This guy is a right midfielder / right winger that has to play at right back because the club never bought somebody that can properly back up Dani Carvajal. So now, whenever Carvajal's not out there, Lucas Vazquez is going to be starting. And we need to sign a new right back immediately. I'm hoping that we can do a madness in the January window and maybe bring in Trent, because I cannot watch Lucas Vazquez start a majority of these games for the rest of the season. I will lose my mind. My grandmother would cook this bum in 1v1 situations. This guy's first touch is shit. Every single time he's being pressed, he gets scared. He's taking too many touches. He's losing the ball. This guy makes that entire right side of the defense a liability. It's exposed. Even when he overlaps, his crossing has been shit. Somebody tell me, what is Lucas Vazquez actually good at? The fact that this guy has remained at this club for so long is a mystery to me. I don't get it. Why not go give a kid from the academy a chance? Whatever happened to Jesus Fortia? Everybody was telling me about how highly rated he was at the club, and they were calling him a wonder kid. So why not play him? Because you cannot tell me that he would do any worse than Lucas Vazquez. Every single time this guy starts a game, I'm nervous. I'm automatically thinking about what that left winger is going to do to him, about how he's going to get violated. And in a game like this, where we needed some defensive solidarity, And with Lucas Vazquez in that back line, I'm thinking, oh my goodness me, we are cooked. Once I saw how Vallecano were starting off in that first half, I knew we were in for a long day. Would Lucas Vazquez start for any other big club? Again, he's not first choice, but it's the fact that we just don't have a better option, at least in the manager's eyes, that's really pissing me off. Again, another mid-performance from him. Now, at left back, Fran Garcia. He is somebody that I think should be starting for us, given how we want to play and how we've struggled in attack. Fran Garcia is a solid left back, right? He's good going forward, overlapping. He's a great crosser of the ball. But defensively, he's very mid. And when I was trying to tell people that Ferland Mendy is needed in more defensive situations, everybody's telling me, oh, well, the stats are showing that Fran Garcia is better this season. I don't give a fuck what the stats are telling you. I have eyes. Fran Garcia is nowhere near the defender that Ferland Mendy is. And we saw that today. The first goal that Vallecano scored from that cross into the box, that right winger was cooking Fran Garcia. Fran Garcia was playing twister. My guy was put in the mixer, in the blender. He had him spinning around. He was lost out there. And when I deep it, I'm like, yo, Real Madrid, starting fullbacks, Fran Garcia and Lucas Vazquez. What in the mid is that? I already told you guys. Next summer, we need a defensive revolution at this club. Lucas Vazquez, I don't know what his contract situation is like, but it might be time to get rid. Fran Garcia, I already told you guys. I like him, but he's not good enough. I would cash in on Fran Garcia in the summer. He's probably worth about 15. Maybe you'll find somebody that will pay 20 million. Sell Fran Garcia and go activate Miguel Gutierrez's buyback clause from Girona. Because Fran Garcia is not better than Gutierrez, right? Gutierrez at Girona has transformed himself into one of the best left backs in the league. He's worth about 30 to 35 million. But guess what? We have a buyback clause for about 8 million. So, yeah, sell Fran, bring back Gutierrez. But our fullbacks, yo, whenever I see the starting 11, you guys know if you're watching my watch-alongs, right? You're there before kickoff. What do I always say is the weak link? The fullbacks. Every single time. If we go up against a team that has a good winger, we're in for a long day. Because I already know that Fran Garcia and Lucas Vazquez won't be able to deal with them properly. The third thing that I learned from this match is that we need a new manager. I don't even know where to begin on Carlo Ancelotti. This guy has been so shocking this season. He's been one of the worst managers in the world. I'm telling you this right now. He looks like he has no clue what day it is. He's washed. It might be time to retire. Carlo Ancelotti, I do not believe, is the right man to lead this team. There's no tactics. We have no style of play. This guy's starting 11s are usually wrong. He's not trusting some of these players that deserve more opportunities. What has Carlo Ancelotti done well this season? Tell me. I rate him in terms of everything that he's done for the club, right? He's won us a lot of trophies. I've seen a lot of success. So I don't want him away from the club, but I just don't want him as our manager. Give him an ambassador role. But this guy should not be out there managing this team. Did you guys see some of his quotes that he said in the press conference after the game? He's moving like Ten Hag. I think he's fully lost the plot. We are individual brilliance FC. We only got something from this game because Valverde scored a screamer from outside the box, and Rodrigo had a good solo goal as well. But What are our style of, like, what's the style of play? What are the patterns that we build upon? Tell me. It looks like he just sets us up and then he tells the boys to go out there and get it done. He's not giving them any instruction. That's why in the first half of games, we look so discombobulated. We literally look like we don't know what to do when the ball gets kicked off to start off games. That's why we are so shit in the first half. That's why we are second half FC, because it takes our players 45 minutes to figure out what they should do because their manager is not telling them what to do. I cannot believe how piss poor Carlo Ancelotti has been. If you want to talk about his subs, if you want to talk about the tactics, the style of play that's not there, sack Carlo. The club should just hire me. I don't think it can get much worse tactically, right? Go give it to somebody else on an interim basis. I need some fresh ideas. I need a manager that's not going to be a pussy, that's not going to drop Raul Asensio for no reason, that's not going to waste Endrick on the bench, right? That's not going to waste Arda Güler. It's just absolutely ridiculous, man. I don't know what's gotten into Carlo, but his lack of substitutions, right? This guy's lack of just instruction, it's just crazy, man. We definitely do need a new manager. This is 100% Carlo's last season at the club. He was outcoached today. I can't even tell you who Vallecano's manager was. And I can tell you their style of play, right? Vallecano, they let us have the ball, but they were pressing us. Once teams press us, we have no other option. Like, we don't have no other way to break teams down. I seriously think this is the end for Carlo Ancelotti. And if things keep going this way, who knows if he even makes it until the end of the season? Because you saw how shit we've looked in the league for a majority of this season. You see how shit we look in the Champions League. If things don't fix up quickly, I think he's out of there. Again, I don't care who they give it to. I just need somebody that's going to come in and give some structure to this team. The fourth thing that I took away from this match is that Brahim Diaz needs to come off the bench. Every time he's gotten a chance to start this season, I've just not been impressed. And the thing is, I rate him, and I do think he makes an impact for us. But I think his impact is more felt when he comes off the bench, right? I saw all these reports weeks ago about how Brahim Diaz wants to push for a starting spot at Real Madrid. And just given what I've seen, that's not your role, buddy. If you want to start, you got to find a different club. I think against Vallecano, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't really good, right? The reason why Brahim Diaz is out there is because technically he's a very good player, right? He's able to control the ball. He's a good finisher as well. He can link play, and he's also decent when it comes to being in the final third. But against Vallecano, he was kind of non-existent. Now, I will give him some credit, right? I think that he did a lot of defensive work. I saw him tracking back a lot, and I saw him make a few tackles. I saw him get a few interceptions, and that was good. But what I need Brahim to do is be dangerous in and around that box. And I've just not been impressed when he started this season. I think Brahim is better when he's getting brought on around the 60 to 65th minute when we're struggling to break teams down. He does give us something different, right? Fresh legs. And again, for all the reasons that I named earlier, why he's so valuable. But just as a starter, not it. I think against Vallecano, if Carlo Ancelotti had some balls, he should have ran a 4-3-3 initially, and he should have started Rodrigo on the left. He should have started Endrick in the 9, and then Arda Güler on the right. And then you could have brought on a Brahim Diaz around, again, the 65th to 70th minute. I think that would have worked a little bit better than what we saw today. I think Brahim Diaz struggled with the physicality, right? I think his passing was decent today, right? I don't think that he misplaced the pass. I also don't really think he created any chances like that. So, yeah, man, just look. When Brahim has gotten a chance to start, maybe you guys disagree, right? But I just haven't really seen him put in a good shift this season as the starter. I think that his form has dipped a bit since last season. But this is not me picking on Brahim. I still do rate him. I still do value him. And I still want him in the squad. And I still think that he needs to be one of the first names coming off that bench to enter the game. But I just don't really want him starting like that. Now, obviously, right, there was no Vinicius, no Mbappe, and we know that Carlo is not going to play Endrick, at least to start. So I get why Brahim was out there. But I just don't think his role in this team is to be starting like that. I get it. Vallecano is a game that he should be able to come on and start against, but I think we could have maybe did something a little bit different. The fifth thing that I took away from this match is that Rodrigo needs to start when he's fit. What a performance he had against Vallecano. He was our best player, and he was the only attacker that actually looked like he was on it when he got the ball. He got that great assist for Jude when we were trailing 2-1 to level the game. And then he scored our third goal. And yeah, it took a bit of a deflection, but nonetheless, we'll be shameless and claim it. Rodrigo is him. That was a very good performance. I don't know if we get anything from this match if Rodrigo does not perform the way that he did. And what's crazy is Rodrigo is a player who I think his future is in question at the club. I don't think that Rodrigo is a locked-on starter anymore. I feel like he's kind of been pushed out of the team due to Mbappe coming in. It feels like Carlo is moving away from the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, and he's moving more into a 4-4-2. And with that being said, if we're running a 4-4-2, then where is Rodrigo going to play? Now, you guys know I rate him very highly. Rodrigo is my favorite player at the club. Over the summertime, when a lot of you guys wanted him sold, I told you Rodrigo is a very good player. He is one of the best wingers in the world. And if we sell him, it would be a massive mistake. Now, I don't really think that we'll ever truly see the best version of Rodrigo at Real Madrid, because we all know that Rodrigo is a left winger, but he's not going to really get opportunities there unless Vinicius and Mbappe are injured. And you saw today that predominantly playing from that left side, the impact that he made. Rodrigo on the left wing is a very different player to when Rodrigo's on the right. Left wing Rodrigo is arguably a top 5 winger in the world. Right wing Rodrigo is still pretty good, but it's not what's going to get the best out of him. Massive performance from him today. He was one of the few players that I thought could leave this game with their head held high, because he did everything that was in his power to try and get us the dub. Big game from him. And I think when Vinicius and Mbappe return, Carlo Ancelotti has to go back to the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, whatever formation fits Rodrigo in there. You see the impact that he has. This is Mr. Champions League that we're talking about. This is Man City's owner. I knew that eventually his form would pick back up, but he needs more minutes. Today was a big game for him because with no Vinicius and with no Mbappe, I think everybody was looking at him to be that attacker that had things happening, and he made things happen today. So Rodrigo, big performance, and I hope that he's able to stay fit, and in the next few games, he must be out there. But I want to know what you guys think. What are some things that you took away from this game? It was still a shit performance from the team, right? I still cannot believe that we've dropped points against Vallecano again at their ground. They might be our bogey team. It seems like we don't travel to their place and pick up points very often. It's super annoying. Again, we let Mr. Clean, man like Johnny Sins, cook us. The back line looking lost out there. Even Thibaut Courtois today in that game against Vallecano didn't play that well. But the reason why I didn't talk about Courtois too much is because he's allowed to not look good in some games. He saved us so many times this season. So when he does make some mistakes, I'm not going to crash on him. Because if it wasn't for Courtois, we would have lost a lot more games this season, right? We wouldn't have been able to get points or wins from some of those performances. But yeah, man, we blew it. We absolutely blew it. We let Barcelona off the hook. If we would have won this game, we would have been top of La Liga with the game in hand. Now, I got to hope that Barca drop more points. We got to keep relying on teams to do what we could not. But get in the conversation, like I said, right? Make sure you guys smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on those post notifications so you don't miss anytime I drop a new video or I go live. Come on, boys. Holla Madrid.